Welcome to my channel, where we discuss everything and all things politics, economy, and development in Nigeria and around the world. In this video, I want to prove to the First Lady, Senator Oluremi Tinubu, that her husband is responsible for the hardship we have in the country presently. The wife of the president recently in Oyo State, when she was at the palace of the Oni of Ife, said that the government of her husband had been around only for 18 months, that they are not responsible for the hardship in the country. But I want to give just two proof to her and others who think like her, that her husband is responsible for the hardship in the country. Number one, her husband was the one that removed the fuel subsidy on May 29, 2023. That removal of the fuel subsidy has, today as I talk to you, increased the price of fuel from 198 naira per liter to over 1,030 naira in some places like Lagos and Abuja. But if you go to places like Owerri, you go to places like Sokoto, go to places like Meduguri, Yobe, and other places, they are getting the 1,002, 1,003. And given that transportation costs is at the center of our economic network, both in terms of distribution, you know that had exacerbated the crisis in the country. That's why you now have food inflation of over 300%, because the cost of everything had skyrocketed as a result of that decision of her husband on May 29, 2023. I have heard people say, but P2B also say he will remove fuel subsidy on day one. Atiku Abubakar also said he will remove fuel subsidy. So that what Tinubu did was what everybody said they would do. Well, P2B said he would do it, but did he do it without providing a solution? The president removed the subsidy without a solution. It was after he removed it, they began to run around on what to do to ameliorate the crisis it had generated. So in other words, the high cost of living in Nigeria today, the hardship in the country today, is centered on that removal of fuel subsidy without making out solution to handle the fallout from it. Even her husband is aware of the consequences of removing fuel subsidy. That was why he protested against Jonathan removing it in 2012. And he wrote an op-ed why President Jonathan should not remove it. Those things he wrote in his op-ed in 2012 is still relevant today in 2023 when he removed the fuel subsidy. So he created the crisis by the removal of that fuel subsidy. We agreed. The fuel subsidy, all the presidential candidates said they will remove it. But did they say they will remove it without proper planning? They didn't say so. But he was the one that was privileged to have to implement it, and he implemented it abysmally. That's why the country people are suffering. Nigerians are suffering because of that singular action of her husband. Then number two, her husband floated the naira against every constructive advice. Flotation of the naira is one of the things that also contributed to the hardship in the country. Nigeria is an import-dependent country. So if you float the naira and say demand and supply should determine the price, the value of the naira on a daily basis, you have created a serious problem. That is why since the flotation, naira that was 400 naira to the dollar and on the I and E window is now 1,600 and in some places 1,700. Her husband inherited 400 naira to the dollar at the I and E window. At the black market, her husband inherited $700 to $750 naira to the dollar. Today, both her husband has succeeded, if you like, in narrowing the gap between the official and unofficial window in the currency market. But it is very high on both ends, whether you go to I&E window or you go to the black market. As an import-dependent nation, the high cost of imported goods is because of what her husband did. First of all, it is important for us to note that around 2002, when the World Bank and IMF was putting pressure on MFL to float the naira, that is the best solution to handle our currency crisis, because MFL was accused of defending the naira. MFL refused and said he will not float the naira, because when MFL floated the naira for a few months under Buhari, their fingers were burnt. They dumped it. But because of that lesson, MFL said they won't attempt it to float, no matter the pressure from IMF and the World Bank. He told them bluntly, Nigeria will not float. And he gave his reasons why Nigeria cannot sustain a floated naira. Now, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu entered, perhaps to show that he's a reformer in chief. He floated the naira. And today, hardship in Nigeria has increased to an unprecedented level. Don't forget that Remi Tinubu's husband inherited 133 million Nigeria living in poverty or multidimensional poverty. Even the IMF is now agreeing that over 50 million have joined that 133 million. In other words, her husband has worsened the economic situation of Nigerians. That's just 2 points I want to use. I don't want to go into some of the actions of her husband, including going to purchase a new set of aircraft, the kind of vehicles that were importing from abroad when they should have bought made in Nigeria cars and other kinds of things they were doing that has really crippled the economy. I don't want to go into that, but these 2 points are the key points why the hardship has increased in Nigeria. If you go and read the New York Times in the analysis of the Tinubunomics, they pointed out these 2 points I'm giving here as the center of why Nigeria is facing an economic crisis of a generational proportion. The New York Times described it economic crisis of generational proportion. That's what we're having. The Financial Times described it the same. These two people cannot be lying. These two media organizations that have a lot of reputation, they can't be lying. So perhaps she's not aware of this, but I have just used these 2 points to show and prove that indeed her husband is at the center of the hardship we have presently in this country. I don't know what you think of it. Do you think that Remi Tinubu's husband is not responsible for what we are passing through? That it is something that is meant to be? Or do you think there were others that caused it? Or that if it was Peter Obi, it would be the same thing? Or if it was Atiku Abubakar, it would have been the same thing? What do you think? Let's hear from you. Go to the comment section and let us have an interaction and see what you think about this. Thank you for watching this video. And if you are new to my channel, you have not yet subscribed to my channel, hit the subscription button, hit the notification bell. When you subscribe to my channel and hit the notification bell, anytime I have a new video, you'll be among the first to know. God bless you. And please don't forget to like this video, because when you like it, God will rank it high and recommend it for more people. Thank you, and God bless you and yours.